Good morning, everybody. So, I want to make a quick video, a reminder that I will not be in class today to be able to help you out, and so we will not have a Zoom conference, but we will pick back up and have a Zoom conference on Wednesday where we will do a review. Okay, Thursday you have your Canvas quiz. All right, and then Friday we move on to section 4.5, so you have notes and probably an exit ticket or something along those lines. So again, if you ever need extra support, just contact me. We'll have an individual one-on-one meeting, or maybe two-on-one meeting outside of class. So let's go ahead and get started. Arithmetic sequences. So we started this yesterday, and just as a review, when you're talking about finding the common difference, we're saying what is the number that you would have to add or subtract to the first number to get to the second one, right? So to go from 5 to 9, we would be adding 4. From 9 to 13, adding 4. And same thing from 13 to 7. So we are adding 4 each time. So common difference would be a positive 4. Okay, same thing here. You are adding 20 every time. So this one is also a positive, and it is 20 this time. All right, so write the first 5 terms of each arithmetic sequence given the recursive formula. So what you're going to be asked to do for the quiz and everything else is look at the recursive formula and be able to tell me what are the key features of it. Okay, so if it says f of 1, we know that this is the first term. Okay, so 5 is the first term, and we put that right there. Then you look at the second part of the formula and say, okay, this is a function at the nth term. We would have to take the term prior to it and add 10. So this is the common difference. It's the D. So whatever the common difference is, just like we did up here, that's the number that's adding or subtracting. So if we started at 5 and our difference is plus 10, you add 10 each time. Okay, so that gets you your first 5 terms of the sequence. All right, now looking at number 4, it says write the explicit formula for the following sequence and use it to find the following terms. Okay, so before we do anything else, we're going to write the explicit formula. Remember, the explicit formula usually starts with like, A1 or F1, and you list the number that it starts with. And then you have A sub n or F of n, either way. And I say sub n because it's a subscript. It's just a lowercase. So if you were to type it into like Microsoft Word, you'd have to use the subscript option. But either way, these are the same thing. These are the same. Okay, so this one says A of n, same thing. Now remember that our function is, for explicit, is you take the first number, or the first term, and you add the common difference times n minus 1, right? So in this case, it'd be A1, and this would be probably F of 1. Plus d times n minus 1. So same equation, just different letters that they use. All right, so what's the explicit formula? Okay, so if it doesn't tell you what term to find, if it has this n, that means we're going to keep the n in here, okay? So our first term in this case is 20, so we're going to put this 20 first, plus the common difference, which is 6 in this case. It goes up 6, times n minus 1. Notice we kept the n. Okay, that's it. That's the entire formula. All right. Now we use that formula to find these terms. So for instance, a of 45, substitute 45 for the n's. So we have the 45th term is equivalent to 20 plus 6 times 45 minus 1. All right. So 20 plus 6 times 44. 20 plus 6 times 44 is 264. And so therefore, the 45th term of the arithmetic sequence would be 284 when you add those two together. So that's the answer right there. Okay, and then A of 68, you do the same way. Okay, sub in 68 equals, starts with 20, goes up 6, but now we're looking for the 68th term in the sequence. So 6 times 67 is 402. So this is 422. Okay, so that's what that one is. All right, So explicit formula is nice because you can really like go into some big terms, right? Like you can look and see what's the 1,000th term. But recursive is kind of not as nice because you always have to have the number before it. Like we would have to have, in order to get the 1,000th term, we'd have to have the 999th term, right? So that's kind of a pain in the butt. So explicit is actually the nicer formula. It's a little bit easier to use. Okay, so we're going to translate between forms here. It says, given the recursive formula, write the explicit. So this is the recursive. And so it tells you, obviously, this is our first term, and then this is our common difference. So it starts at 14, and then it goes down 6. Okay, so that takes us there and there. All right, so that gives us our term. So now we have to write the explicit formula. Well, remember, the explicit formula is a sub n, or f of n, whichever one you prefer, equals the first term plus the common difference. Well, in this case, it's negative 6, so minus 6, times n minus 1. So there's our explicit formula. Okay. All right, so now let's do the same thing for this one. This one gives you your first term is 8, okay, and the common difference is what's being added at the end, so it's plus 7, so this is 15, 22, 29, 36. All right, explicit formula, this one uses a sub n, whereas this one uses f of n, so I guess I could have changed this to be f of n. So a sub n equals first number, 8, plus the common difference times n minus 1. All right. Now, sometimes it'll ask you to simplify that. So if it asks for a simplified version, all that means is that you're going to take these numbers, you're going to distribute this 7, okay? And you're just going to simplify the right side. All right. So this would be 7n and 8 and 7 combined. 8 minus 7 is just 1. Okay. So these two things are the same. It's just that this one is simplified. Okay, we simplify the right side. All right, sometimes they'll want it in this form. Sometimes you're fine to write it in this form. Okay, that's the only difference. Is they're the exact same. I simplified this right side. All right, word problems. Woo! A theater has 60 seats in the first row, 68 in the second, 76 in the third, and so on in the same increasing pattern. Write the explicit formula. Explicit, remember, is a sub n, a1 plus the common difference times n minus 1, okay? That represents a scenario. So our first term in this case is 60, right? Okay, so a sub n equals 60. It's going up by 8 each time, n minus 1 times n minus 1. Perfect, that's it. That one's done because it just wanted us to write the formula, okay? All right, so now if the theater has 20 rows of seats, how many seats are in the 20th row to the theater? Okay, so what we want to know is, what's the 20th term? Okay? And so we have, this is equal to 60 plus 8 times 20 minus 1. Okay, so this would be 60 plus 8 times 19. 8 times 19 is 152. So 60 plus 152 is, what is that, 212? Yep, 212. So the 20th row has 212 seats. Okay. After knee surgery, the trainer tells you to return to your jogging program slowly. He suggests jogging for 12 minutes the first week. Each week thereafter, he suggests that you increase that time by 6 minutes. Write the explicit formula for this scenario. See what I mean? We're going to write the explicit formula way more than the recursive. All right, so recursive or explicit, a sub n equals, or you could even do f of n. Either way, it doesn't matter. They mean the same thing. Equals the first number, which is 12, and it increases by 6 minutes, and then you multiply that by n minus 1. Okay, so how many weeks will it be before you are jogging up to 60 minutes per day? So in this case, it's saying not what is, not to increase it to the 60th term, but rather it's saying, when do you get to 60? Okay, so that's the total, right? So remember, total goes on the side by itself. So this one, we're kind of working the other way, and we're going to solve it backwards. All right, so we're going to simplify the right side, solve for n. So distribute the 6, gives you 6n minus 6. Okay, then we can combine these. So 12 minus 6 is just 6. All right, and then we're solving for n just like it's x. Divide by 6, divide by 6. So 9 is n. 9, what was that? 9 weeks. 9 weeks. Until you're jogging 60 minutes. Now, I'm just telling you, I would not jog 60 minutes because I don't like running. So, there's that. All right. Exit ticket. Okay, same idea. You got a word problem at the bottom. You're going to translate between forms here. You're going to write the explicit formula, and you're going to use recursive to figure out what's the common difference and what are the first 5 terms. Okay, so complete that. Submit it for your exit ticket today and your attendance. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you guys soon.